Hi everybody. Today I will give you a review about what we took in lab 1. First, if you look here, you can see the main structure of any code that we can write. We said usually we include the IO stream library to input or output any stream using the CN and the Cout. And also we need to have the main function to execute the code, because we said that the compiler always will start the execution from the starting of this main function. And you can see here we said that until this level you need to know that the data type of this function is called void, or we can change it into integer. And in case we change it to integer, we need to put here the return 0. Now, something that we talked about in the lab session 1, we talked about which is called data types. We said that we have variables in the C++ that we can assign it with some values. And depending on the data type of those values, we need to give the data types for our variables. So for example, we said that we have the integer data type, and the integer data type, we said that we have it to declare some values that represent the whole numbers. So we can just write it like this, int. And we have another data type which is called double, or even we can have another data type which is called the float. Those data types here, we use them to represent the numbers with a floating point. Another data type which is called character. The character here, we use it to represent any variable that contains one letter or one symbol, for example, the question mark or the addition mark. Or even we can use the numbers to save the number, but to save it as a character, which means that we cannot use it in calculations. Another data type which is called a string, and we said that the string data type, we use it to save some word, or we need to save more than one letter. And now I will tell you how we can declare a variable of any of those data types. So normally if I want to declare a variable, it means that like I'm telling the compiler that there will be a variable of this data type. So let's see here, for example, the integer. Just we need to put the data type and then space, then we put the name of our variable. So for example, I have a variable called A. So this is here a declaration for a variable called A of data type integer. Now if I want to define this variable, I can, for example, in the same statement write A equal 5. So now in the same statement here, I'm declaring the variable A and define it with the value 5. Now, something that you need to know, I can keep the declaration like this and then come in another line and say A equal 5. Now, do you see this statement here in line 6? This statement, we call it assigning the value into this variable. And as you can see, I'm assigning the value 5 directly to the variable A using the equal sign. Now, if you want to assign any variable with any value, you can use it for any of those data types that we used here. So for example, again, if I have this double data type, I can have a variable called B and then come and say B equal to 6.6. If I have a float, I can do the same. I can then say here C equals 7.8. For the character now, the assignment of the value to the variable will be different. In what it will be different? If I have now a variable here called letter, and I want to assign this letter directly to a value, so I can write the variable name, which is letter, equals to the value. Now let's assume here that I want to save this star in this variable letter. So if I want to save it, since I'm using this data type character, it means I need to use the single quotations. And of course put semicolon in the end of the statement. So see, if I have a numerical value, I don't put quotation, but if I have a character, I should put some single quotation. And if I have a string data type, for example here, let's have name variable, I need to, when I want to assign it, I need to put my name between two double quotations, not only single quotations. And remember here something that I did not tell you now, that the string data type, in able to use it in our code, we need to include here a library which called string. So whenever you have in your code a string variable, I need to use or to include the library string. But for the other data types, it will be fine. So those are the main data types that I will talk about in this video. And now I will move just to tell you about the assignment. How can I assign a value into a variable? We said that the first way is to use this direct assignment statement, but just to write the variable equal the value, the variable equal the value. So now another way is to use the user input. Alaikum salam.